Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the search for a mother and her missing son in San Antonio comes to a tragic end. Their bodies found in a park. And Supreme Court allows Senate Bill 4 to play out in Texas as the immigration debate continues. Plus, a fatal wreck in Williamson County leaves one mother without her daughter. Now she's suing the company behind the rental vehicle.
Cloudy skies, cool temperatures, a little bit of rainfall. We're in the Crossroads area today. What about tomorrow? What about the next rain chance? Take a look coming up in your forecast.
And it's East versus West day for softball, and we spoke to some of the West powerlifters. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Karina Garcia. John Brubaker is off tonight. Authorities arrested a 26-year-old woman on charges of abuse and child endangerment. Brandy Carabello is at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of bonds totaling $4,000. She faces a total of 3 charges. Now this man, 25-year-old Jesse Garcia, faces 5 charges. He's going to pop up on your screen. It includes engaging in organized criminal activity. He's at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of bonds totaling $130,000. And authorities arrested this 29-year-old man on charges of burglary. Kiel Marvant is at the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a $30,000 bond. Victoria ISD continues to face issues with chronic absences, meaning students are consistently missing days of school. The district says chronic absenteeism leads to knowledge gaps and academic disengagement. The VISD now plans to launch an awareness campaign to educate the community about the consequences of chronic absences. Campuses will also implement early intervention systems, prioritizing attendance. This morning, the Hallettsville Police Department arrested a Houston man on 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance. During a traffic stop, officers say they found about 20 grams of Xanax pills and around 5 grams of hydrocodone pills inside the vehicle. The 37-year-old was booked into the Lavaca County Jail. His name is currently not available. Now, a car caught fire near the Lavaca River Bridge on Highway 59 southbound, just outside of Edna. The Edna Police Department and Jackson County Emergency Services worked together to manage the fire. While they handled the incident, the roadway in that area was closed for about an hour. And with that, let's take a quick look at your forecast with meteorologist Trey Mining.
All right, thank you so much, Karina. And looking at the radar, rain beginning to move on out now and fade away as well, like the moderate rain we had throughout the day. So a little bit of a break in the temporary, well, a little temporary break in the rainfall before more rain heads our way. We'll take a look at that in the full forecast. For today's review, 60 degrees was the high today, very cool today. Low this morning, 46 degrees, below normal for our high and low on average. And 200 of an inch of rain fell at the airport this morning. What about the rest of the day today, tonight, tomorrow, and the rain coming back? We'll give you the details coming up in the full forecast. We got you covered. Back to you, Karina.
Trey, thank you. Texas's top story this evening. The Supreme Court cleared the way for state leaders to begin enforcing Senate Bill 4. The law allows local officials to arrest and detain people they suspect have entered the state of Texas illegally.
This decision clears the way for Texas to immediately begin enforcing this controversial immigration law that passed last year. Governor Greg Abbott claiming that it was necessary because of a, quote, invasion of migrants. The High Court's conservative justices rejected the Biden administration's request to intervene and force Texas to keep Senate Bill 4 on hold while it's challenged in the lower courts. Liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote in the dissent that this decision from the majority, quote, invites further chaos and crisis in immigration enforcement. The administration had called the state law unconstitutional. The Department of Justice had argued Texas's immigration law encroached on the federal government's authority in immigration, and critics said it could promote racial profiling. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote in the opinion that they preferred to allow the Fifth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals to decide whether SB 4 should be blocked pending ongoing litigation. After the Fifth Circuit Court makes its ruling, this case could end up back at the Supreme Court, so it's far from over. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Senate Bill 4 could still be blocked at a later date. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has not yet decided whether to grant the federal government's request to block the law. Leading us to your Veer poll this evening, you can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is, do you agree with the Supreme Court's decision to allow Texas to enforce Senate Bill 4? Yes or no? According to our results, it looks like 72% of our viewers voted yes, and the remaining 28% stand at no. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 10. A frantic search ended in heartbreak after a mother and her son disappeared Monday afternoon on their way to a doctor's appointment. The bodies of 32-year-old Savannah Kerger and her 3-year-old son Caden Kerger were found early Tuesday morning in Tom Slick Park on the west side of San Antonio. Officials believed it was a murder-suicide and say investigators have already found a weapon. Officials say Savannah and Caden's father were going through a tough custody battle. Both were supposed to be back in court on Tuesday for a hearing. Further details on this case are still pending. Now, if you or someone you know is struggling with a crisis and needs help, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. They provide free and confidential help 24/7 for people in distress. A grieving mother is suing a rental car company. She claims neglect caused a crash that killed her daughter in Williamson County earlier this year. Lourdes Grass's 20-year-old middle daughter died in early January after a rental car she rode passenger hydroplaned. A crash report noted one of the tires had a tread depth of 2/32 of an inch. DPS says that shouldn't even be drivable. The woman is now suing the enterprise. Her attorney says the lawsuit isn't just about the money. She wants to know what was going on with the vehicle they were renting. And we now turn to world news, where Gaza could soon see a humanitarian disaster far worse than it's currently suffering. More than 1 million civilians are trapped there and starving. This as the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is defending his plan to invade Rafah.
The U.S. is voicing concerns over civilian safety in Gaza, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu doubling down yesterday on his vow to invade Rafah.
The majority of Israelis support the policies that we're leading. Go into Rafah, destroy the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions.
He promises to evacuate the more than 1 million civilians there, but U.S. officials are skeptical.
The evacuation, they call it humanitarian islands, and we welcome any credible plan to take care of them, but we haven't seen it yet.
Getting innocent people out could be even harder than getting aid in. That's so difficult, the U.S. and other countries are building a floating dock to access Rafah by water.
It's going to probably take about 6 to 8 weeks or so for all the pieces to get in place and for it to become operational.
President Joe Biden is reiterating his call for a ceasefire and a two-state solution.
This is the only path for lasting peace and security.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calls Netanyahu an obstacle to such peace. He says Israel should hold a new election when the war winds down, drawing this response yesterday.
It's inappropriate for to go to a sister democracy and try to replace the elected leadership there.
The fact that Israel's most staunch defender in the U.S. Congress, Chuck Schumer, should be making these remarks should be an earthquake in Israel.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. The search for a missing college student continues in Missouri. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, we hear from the parents. Also ahead, a small business owner in California stabbed after a heroic act. His condition next.
my best friend. He's everything.
The United Cajun Navy is now joining the search for the missing University of Missouri student Riley Strain. The 22-year-old has been missing for 10 days since being kicked out of a bar during a fraternity formal trip. The United Cajun Navy says they plan to deploy an airboat and a hovercraft in the coming days to help search for Riley along the Cumberland Riverbank. That's where his phone last pinged off a cell phone tower, and his bank card was found by 2 civilians.
Our goal is still to bring Riley home. We feel that is still a very pliable goal. We feel like Dave and his team and the volunteers that he knows are very skilled and will help bring this for us.
Police officials say there is not any evidence that's led them to believe this is a criminal investigation. The families of the Oxford school shooting victims are calling for accountability. They say they are frustrated with the lack of accountability following the shooting in 2021. The failures surrounding the mass shooting at Oxford High School were highlighted in an independent review done by Guidepost Solutions. But the parents of the 4 children killed November 30th want a state-level task force to investigate this incident. No school officials involved in that awful day have been held accountable under the law of government immunity. A food truck driver is recovering tonight after getting stabbed. This small business owner did not hesitate to help an old woman who had been brutally robbed in Long Beach, California.
How's it going, guys? Hope everybody's having a
That's Brian Takun at full strength, hyping his popular food truck, Brian's Birreria, on social media. Tonight, he's a little subdued, having some trouble breathing as he recovers after being stabbed when he went after a thief he saw attacking an elderly woman near this corner of Broadway and Pine as he was driving home from a long shift in the early morning of March 10th. He recognized the woman as a local and says when she told him she'd been robbed, he decided to chase the suspect, following him down to Ocean and a block over to Lincoln Park, where he and another man confronted the suspect.
Just, an elderly person, somebody that kind of resembled my mom's age. I would appreciate if somebody did the same for my mom,
He got it back, gave the woman her phone, and told police, who'd quickly arrived, he had a little shoulder pain, but was okay. Within minutes, though, he realized he was not.
I got in my truck and, drove away. And as I was driving on the 710, started feeling a bit worse. I started sweating a lot and felt like I was going to pass out.
He parked and asked a security guard for help. Though he says he never saw a weapon, the men discovered he was bleeding, hidden underneath his black sweater. Doctors told him he'd been stabbed twice and his lung had collapsed. He spent 3 days in the hospital. That being said, this husband, father, and small business owner says he wouldn't hesitate to help again.
Just the way we were raised, and like I said, I'd do it for anybody. A lot of people question it, but God is great, and we're here to be here for each other. That's probably the only way we're, going to get ahead in life,
Take a look at the temperatures currently in the 50s and low 60s. With a cool feel throughout the day today. Have that cool feel all day long. Cloudy skies, some rainfall earlier. Rain chances returning? Yes, they will. We'll give you the details coming up next in my forecast. Good evening, Trey Mining here. Hope your day was good. And it's definitely cool on the outside throughout the entire day. Currently, we're seeing temperatures in the 50s area-wide, 60s along the coast. By your 6 a.m. on your Tuesday, we'll be in the 40s pretty much area-wide, except along the immediate coast, and rising a little bit more than we saw today, and probably in the mid to upper 60s for daytime highs. Even warmer than that coming up toward the end of the week, when some more sunshine will return gradually in our forecast. High temperatures, well, for tomorrow, 68 degrees. Back up in the mid to upper 70s for the majority of the week coming up, right on through the weekend. So this little cool snap was kind of short-lived, but the more springtime temperatures will be headed our way, as you see there, especially on about Thursday or so. Winds in the south, southeast, beginning to shift more toward the Gulf as we head toward the evening hours. Senior Houston areas coming in from the south, that will be moving toward us, so the humidity will be coming back as well, and setting the stage for another rain event we'll have around here. There's the rain from earlier today, currently in the Houston area, headed toward Louisiana. A little bit of a break in the action. Then another disturbance in the southerly flow will move on through, coming on by late in Wednesday into your Thursday. Give us more rainfall chances, pretty widespread, we think. And also maybe a slight risk of severe weather with that, so we have a possible alert day coming up for your day on Thursday. And looking at the future tracker, keeping it pretty much on the clear to partly cloudy side. Rain is out of the picture for the time being. But notice as you work through your day on Wednesday into your Wednesday morning and afternoon, here comes the rain from the south and southwest once again, encompassing the area by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This will be lasting through your day on Thursday, so we're kind of keeping a watch on the weather around here because the slight potential for severe weather is there coming up for Thursday, especially like I just said a minute ago. 9 a.m. for your day tomorrow, Victoria, 57 degrees, wake up time, cloudy skies all day long. Rain chances returning toward the 6 p.m. hour or so. Winds from the south and southeast bringing back the humidity. And in Port Lavaca, along the bayfront, near 70 degrees, cloudy skies all day long. Rain chances returning again by 6, 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Cuero, about the same, cloudy skies. Rain chances towards 6 o'clock. In the 60s for the daytime high, of course, there in Cuero. So don't put your umbrella away just yet because you will be needing it again, especially coming up. For Wednesday, we see right here 50% chance. That is the second half of the day, well after about 3 o'clock or so. 70% chance on your Thursday, watching weather developments. And we're keeping the temperatures pretty much in the 70s beginning tomorrow, lasting through the rest of the week into the weekend. Another rain chance coming in by Friday may give us around us showers and thunderstorms then again. The low temperatures in the 50s and 60s, coming up, so cool mornings, highs in the 60s and 70s, and topping 80 degrees by your day on Monday, Tuesday next week, and probably by the weekend as well. So it's feeling more spring-like, of course, and good sunshine will be our region here by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make it a great day today, and carry an umbrella just in case. And check this out right here. This is the QR code. What you need to do is get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. That'll take you to a web page. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, and it's free of charge. Get that on your phone today. Karina?
Thank you, Trey. And now here's Zach Brown with your sports.
We hear from Victoria West powerlifters, and it's rivalry day for a few area games. I'll have that in sports. The West Warriors ladies have a lot to be proud of from this past weekend at the state powerlifting meet. They had 4 girls go home with medals, and it took a lot of work, and they're extremely proud of themselves and the coaching from Zach Mueller.
He kind of saw me in the hallways and just always like encouraged me, like, hey, do powerlifting. And I've never done any sports. I'm always a choir kid. And so then I got into it, and he's just amazing. Like, he sees your moments where you think you're not good, and he's just like he just opens your eyes. Like, never in a million years would I think I'd be at state.
He just gives like good words of encouragement, and like he'll like be there for you. If you tell him you're struggling, he'll be like, you got like just like confidence. Here at West, we have a lot of people that work really hard, and I think our program's growing since this year. Like, now that we're getting more champions, more medalists, we're getting there slowly, but we're getting better.
The girls give a lot of credit to Coach Zach Mueller, and that's not something he takes lightly, and he just sees it as an opportunity to pour into them what his coaches poured into him.
You know, I had a lot of good coaches in my day, Coach Coley, Coach Yates, a lot of good college coaches, you know, and I guess the product of me is a little bit of product of them. So, you know, for me to be looked at in that way, you know, makes me feel good because, you know, one day I'll be able to coach my kids, and so, you know, I kind of try to treat them the same as if they are my kids.
All right, and they should be proud of themselves. And on that same campus, the West baseball team was getting ready for their showdown against Ray. That game actually started just a few moments ago, but they're fresh off a heartbreaking loss to Carroll, and they pitched pretty well and almost pulled the comeback out in the final inning. And head coach Jay Perez says they want to hit like that, but earlier in the game, and of course, play clean all-around baseball.
One of the big keys would definitely be a good performance on the mound for us, you know, not giving up free bases. And, you know, just performing, stringing things together at the plate will also help. We're taking it one game at a time. We want to win this one and not worry about the ones from last week and not worry about the one that's, you know, coming up later in the week. We just want to worry about this one and get this win.
As I said, that game started just minutes ago. The score in that one currently scoreless as we head to the second inning in this one. Starting in just a few more moments, the always great Victoria East versus Victoria West rivalry. That game will be over at the Youth Sports Complex. The West ladies hot, winners of their last 5 ball games. The East Titans looking to bounce back after dropping their first district game of the year, and another hot rivalry game. How about Shiner and the Ganado Maidens over in Ganado right now? That game also currently in the second inning, still no score. Their games always low scoring and hotly contested, expecting much of the same tonight. That is it for your sports. Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. We're back in a moment. Chick-fil-A could be adding pizza to the menu if it does well at their testing location. Chick-fil-A is spreading its wings by testing a few new items for its customers. The chicken chain's kitchen brand Little Blue menu is serving 5 new pizzas and a variation of a calzone called the Pepperoni Pizza Round. Items from the Little Blue menu, including these new pizzas and calzone, can be ordered on Chick-fil-A's digital app or at littlebluemenu.com, although it's not clear if or when any of the new items will be available outside their Maryland location. It's about time Chick-fil-A expanded that menu.
It sounds like a good idea. I just wonder if there's chicken on there somehow.
On the pizza?
Oh, yes.
Right, because that's their thing. That's their
I would think so.
And a pepperoni pizza, is that what they were saying? Because that goes against Chick-fil-A rules if I'm
Exactly, but I'll tell you what they offer it, I'll probably get it.
Oh, yeah. I'll go anything pizza.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what about this weather, Trey?
Weather was good pizza eating weather, in my opinion. Might as well kind of stay home and eat pizza, especially coming out late tomorrow into your day on Thursday. Look at that, 70% chances. Possible alert day on Thursday. We're watching the weather and to keep you informed, that's what we'll do. Then clearing out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sunshine again, near 80 degrees. Another rain chance on Monday, but highs near 80 degrees over the weekend. No more cool days anytime soon for us. It's warming back up. Rain chances tonight and tomorrow.
All righty. Thank you, Trey. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.